are back here on 24/7 Kansas City Sports. As always, I am your host, Miles Dawkins, and today, once again, we are joined by Kansas City Royals GM, living from 510. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. So let's just jump right into it. You guys took on the Tampa Bay Rays last time we spoke. The game that we were previewing, you guys won. You guys did your thing. The next game, though, is almost like the same old story. You guys give up runs late in that game. Tell me your thoughts on what's been going on with your team and why you guys always seem to give up late runs.
It's confidence. You know, I mean, at the beginning of the year, we could rely on our bullpen somewhat, but now it's just gone to complete, you know what, it's a disgrace. The coaching staff is working with the pitchers, but at the end of the day, it comes down to them just going out there and taking all the stuff they're hearing from the media and just putting that to the side and doing what they're doing. And as of right now, they're not. And it's like really starting to hurt the team and starting to hurt the confidence, like I mentioned last week, of the hitters.
Yeah, because Hollins, he gave up that big run in the ninth, cost you that ball game. But the next game, and this has been the season so far for the Royals. You play like garbage, maybe not garbage, but you give up a heartbreaking loss, and then you come up and get a big victory. Paulino, he went 8 innings pitched, and Collins picks up the save. And then let's move on to that White Sox series. What were your takes, and what were the good things that you saw happen in that White Sox series?
The good thing is that we were able to take 2 out of 3, and our offense was able to create the little bit that we needed, but the biggest thing was our pitching was able to hold a 1-run lead in both for wins, and that is a huge boost for, again, the confidence of our pitching staff.
Yeah, man, I mean, Wade Davis, 10 Ks. Like, I mean, the pitching staff, the starters. Let's talk about the starters. The starters have been solid, but the bullpen, like you just talked about, has been struggling. Are you guys going to make any moves to maybe boost up the bullpen?
At this point, we're not. We brought in Joey Devine, unfortunately, in the loss that we did lose on Friday to the Chicago White Sox. He did blow the save, but I feel like he is more of a leader than anything else, and maybe we can catch fire with that guy, but at this point, we don't have the money to go out and bring someone else in unless we drop one of our top pitchers, possibly Santana, when he gets back. But he's just starting to pitch well, so at this point we don't have the financial means to go out and get a reliever.
Yeah, it is tough playing in a small market, and like you said, Devine gave up 2 runs in the ninth. I mean, like you said, he's there for leadership, but at the end of the day, memories don't, pass and tackle. I know I'm talking about football, but at the end of the day, you got to have people that can actually get the job done. I know he's there for a leader. Hey, man, so if you don't mind, I'd like to get into some Twitter questions. Let the fans be able to interact with you for a couple of minutes here, if you don't mind.
Let's get her done.
All right, man. So Bob, he's actually making a statement and a question at the same time. So Bob from Riverside, he wants to know, or he's telling you that Greg Hollins is trash.
Ooh.
Why not make a trade or a move?
Because we feel like having him, he's a young guy, and having Collins, he's a young guy, and then bringing in Joey Devine, we have the luxury of working with our young staff and watching them grow. It's going to be rough, but if we trade a good prospect like Holland or like Collins, then we're going to start to regret it later on in the upcoming years. But this is really a rebuilding process at this point in terms of keeping our young players around.
Okay. Next question is from my intern who just came back from the bathroom. I hope you washed your hands, bruh. Anyways, he's been dying for me to ask you this question. He knows that the bullpen is struggling, and he knows that the hitting has not been consistent, to say the least. So he wants to know if you guys are going to make any blockbuster trades because you're in first place, and maybe an extra bat might boost y'all to make a strong run in the postseason.
We have been in talks with a couple teams. The Astros are looking possibly to move Jose Altuve, their star second baseman. We would have to give up a lot for him, but that's a possibility, as well as possibly bringing in a veteran bat like an Alex Rodriguez. And there are some other people out there who were thinking about Upton, one of the Upton brothers. But at this point in time, we really have to wait until we get our guys back like Billy Butler and Perez, and then really evaluate our offense after that.
All right, last question is from Richard from Overland Park. He wants to know, when are you guys going to have a fan appreciation day?
Great question, Richard. I'm really glad you asked that. Can I call you Dick? Whatever. I'm going to call you Dick. This Friday, the 10th, when we start our series against the New York Yankees, every single fan will be getting a free Livin' from 510 t-shirt, and the first 5,000 fans will be receiving a free MLB 2K13 video game for the Xbox 360 or for the PS3. So definitely come, get your copy, get your t-shirt, have a good time.
All right, well, there you have it. GM of the Kansas City Royals, Livin' from 510. Thanks for stopping by yet again. Next, we have Dwayne Bowe from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to stop by and talk to your boy. We're going to be talking about hair, clothes, and sex tapes. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
Ooh, kinky. East Road Trip. It is the time when we can determine if we are a true AL power or we're just, you know, a flip on the radar screen. Because let's just be honest, the East Coast teams are kind of like the stepping stone. You gotta, if you can make an impact against them, then you can kind of call yourself a pretty good team in the AL. Miguel Gonzalez is going to be our opponent today. He has a pretty good win-loss ratio early on in the season, but we need to get some runs on the board to support James Shields, who has been pitching like his regular self as of late. Our lineup, you see Escobar, Gordon, Hosmer, Carter. Those guys are going to rely on to score runs. Moustakas needs to get on the board with, I mean, he's just been absolutely terrible. It's not very good. Our lineup is full of guys who are just coming in out of nowhere, because right now we're looking for some offense. Their defense, gotta look out for Wieters. Wieters is going to throw out people. We gotta watch out when we're trying to steal bases. In terms of our defense, as I mentioned, Jemiah Weeks at second base, and we also have Lowe in the outfield, a rookie. So trying to switch it up. Hopefully we can get someone, getting them at a hot time, because that's really what we need here. Luckily, the guy does not get there, and Escobar is able to scurry all the way to third base for a lead-off triple to start the game. So right now, I'm liking it. All we need is a sacrifice fly, and Gordon is going to take care of that as he hits this one high to center field, and Escobar waiting. There you go, and then he runs home and scores the first run of the game with a little dive. He likes to get himself dirty, so we're up 1-0. James Shields, as I mentioned, has been pitching really, really well here. High fastball. Thank you very much, bruh. Yeah, then on an 0-2 count, James Shields with a 2-seam fastball inside. You should swing at that, bruh. But you didn't, so you're done. In the second inning, he does give up a single, which is unfortunate. So now James Shields has to buckle down, and guess what he does? He gets an 0-2 count, and he gets the guy swinging for the fences. You're swinging for air more like, and he points to you. Go back to the dugout, bruh. You're done. 1 out, second inning, 1-2. Thank you very much for coming. You can join your friend in the dugout, because you just got struck out by the beast that is James Shields. Absolutely dealing, and he gets out of that inning, so the one hit does not hurt him, and we still have a 1-0 lead. Then, in the third inning, James Shields gives up a base hit up the middle, unfortunately. Kane is able to get there, but, you know, the damage is already done. And then, they decide to steal on me. I'm like, are you serious, bro? And he gets thrown out by Pena. Now, you may not know who Pena is. I don't know either, but he's just a backup guy while Perez is out. But a pretty nice throw here. Something that I can definitely take with me if Perez gets hurt again, which, you know, you never know what can happen. And then James Shields gets the other guy looking. So now, with 2 outs in the third, he is showing why he is an absolute beast. And then in the third inning, a very, very bad thing happens. He gives up a hit, and Escobar dives for it. And Escobar actually gets hurt once again. He hurts his calf, and he's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's walking around. He looks fine to me, but now I have to start to scramble and figure out something to do after this game. But back to this game, James Shields gives up another hit. Unfortunately, Jemiah Weeks not able to get there. Kane is, and he fires to third base, but the damage is already done, and unfortunately, he advances in scoring position and is tied 1-1. And now a deep fly ball. Kane getting on his horse, able to get there in time, just in front of the wall to make the catch. But like I said, the game is tied up, but James Shields was able to pitch out of it and keep this game close for our offense. As we look at the divisional standings, we are still in first. We got a little bit of a lead on the Indians, but definitely the 17-13 record needs to improve, which we are hoping to do on this East Coast road trip. But when you get too confident, ladies and gentlemen, you go into the zone, and when you go into the zone, Adam Jones, he takes you deep and makes you pay for it for his 7th home run of the season, which gives the Orioles a 2-1 lead against us. And James Shields, well, now he is in a position to buckle down and get out of the 6-0-2 count. Thanks for coming, bruh. You done. Tell your friends about me. He does give up a single in the 6th, but then he just gets a lazy fly ball to Kane, and Kane gets that one, and he gets out of the inning. So James Shields does give up the bomb to Mr. Jones, but that he does get out of the inning. So still in the 7th now, 2-1, and he is still dealing. Thanks for coming, bruh. You done too. So in the 7th inning now with 2 outs, he does give up a double, but Jemiah Weeks able to get there and fire it to first to help James Shields get out of the inning. So James Shields does give up the hits. He's starting to give up more hits, but the defense behind him, especially Jemiah Weeks, able to help him get out of the inning. Now in the 8th inning, James Shields gives up another hit to Mr. Jones. This one is to Gordon, so now he has to buckle down and try to keep this game close. No outs, and he gets that guy swinging at a curveball. That was in the dirt, bro. You should have been looking for it, and you don't. And when you don't, use your eyes. You chase bad pitches in the zone. Yeah, just leave. And then with 1 out, James Shields gives up another hit. So now I'm getting a little bit worried just because there's 2 people on and 1 out. We're looking at double play ball, and they pull off a double steal. So now that double play is completely out of the window, and we're a little bit in trouble. And then James Shields gives up a 3-run jack. Now I'm getting pissed off. Raymond takes me deep for his 6th of the season. This got bad quickly. James Shields not able to put this one to bed, keep it close, and I was forced to take him out and bring in Mr. Joey Devine, who I picked off of free agency. Hopefully this guy can come in, get the outs that we need, and just end this game. 1 out in the 8th. Joey Devine gets this guy swinging with a slider. Thanks, bruh. You're done. And then great slider, not even a chance. God, that was nasty. And then with 2 outs, he gets a lazy fly ball to Lorenzo, and Kane is going to get in position and make the play. So Devine does come in and pitch really, really well and get out of the inning, but the damage is already done. You guys see that 5-2-1 off of the 3-run monster jack to center. And then in the 9th, quick 2 outs and then a quick 0-2 count, and Hosmer gets this one, just laces it to center. So we are now done. We are done. I'm done. I'm pissed. And we lose the opening game of our East Coast road trip 5-1 to the Orioles. James Shields, great game by him early on. He was able to keep it close. Unfortunately, maybe I should have taken him out earlier than the 8th. I thought he could handle it. He didn't, and he gave up that jack. Even if it was a close game, 2-1, still offense hadn't been producing that much. It really just comes back to our offense being a real problem. And now with Escobar being out for a longer period of time, just when we're just about to get Perez and Butler back, it's unfortunate. Now I have to scramble. Escobar was a guy who I can rely on to steal bases. I can rely on to get triples off of mistakes. I can rely on to create a spark, possibly manufacture runs for our pitching staff. And now with him getting hurt on a freak injury, it's unfortunate. And free agency, calling someone up from the minors is a possibility as well. But it's a problem when you have 0 offense and your pitching is now forced to be perfect. You saw here Adam Jones, he's a monster. He's going to get his hits. It's not logical to think that a pitcher can keep an offense like this to under 3 runs. It's very, very hard for even an ace like James Shields, who pitched pretty well, and this was the result of that. But now it is time for me to scramble and look for a shortstop to fill the void while Escobar is going to be out for about 40 days. More than probably 50 days, knowing my recovery staff. Going on the 15-day DL, and then we got to put him on another 15-day DL, and then we got to put him on another 15-day DL. It's just crazy. So I look at the free agency market, and no one is really popping out to me as a guy who I want to really put my time into and want to sign and spend money on. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll make a trade. So Alexi Ramirez is a guy who possibly I could trade for, but then I'm thinking he's too old, and when Escobar comes back, then it'll be that rift between them. Who am I going to play? So I decided to bring up Chris Creedy from AAA. Not the best, but it's something. But it's not going to help our offense. I'm going to have to make a trade.